Hi folks, this is Sami from Ensiferum and you are listening to K103. Stay tuned.
So your latest album came out last month, and today you're in Gothenburg at the end of the tour. Can you tell me about the record, the process behind it, and the sound, and so on?
Well, it's already like 6th album for Ensiferum. Well, to keep it simple, the very idea for this album was to make it sound as organic and as much as live album as possible, because Ensiferum, the way I see it, Ensiferum is definitely more a live band. And we want to capture the energy for the album, and we met Ensiferum, who recorded and produced the album, and we discussed with him what we expect from the album and what kind of sound do we want. We're gonna cut down the amount of tracks again, even more. We've been doing that for the last 2 albums. There are parts where it's on like 2 guitars, like really old school, 2 guitars left and right, and not just not this 50 guitar tracks, wall of whatever distortion, and that was something that was like the main goal. Of course, like songwriting wise, we wanted to explore a little bit new things, and anyway, the whole material was a little bit more aggressive than especially the previous one, which was a little bit more emotional.
So it's the 6th album, and how much of a difference would you say this latest album is compared to the first one? Like over the years, what's the biggest difference, musical, instrumental, and songwriting wise?
Well, of course we are. The first album was really cool. The guys were like the bass player Jukka and his dear friend. He was like 14 or 15 when guys recorded the first album. They were really young, and of course you can hear there's a lot of will and trying. Maybe not so much. The guys were good musicians. Don't get me wrong. Over at that time, I guess that's something that is, of course, different compared to nowadays. Well, no wonder if you play some instrument for 20 more years, and you probably are a little bit better. But I think the main idea is still there. At least to my ear, you can still hear, even if you listen to the first album and the latest, you can still hear the melodic, folkish side is still there. And on the other hand, the ass-kicking metal, that's like the 2 cornerstone of Ensiferum music. But overall, maybe the way I actually see the latest album is so kind of the ending point of something that we try to achieve since the From Afar album, which came out 2009. I think that was the first time we used orchestrations, and since then this is the sound we're kind of been looking for. Don't get me wrong, I like the previous albums, but now that I listen to all these albums in a row, like, okay, this is pretty much what we meant already back then. But on the other hand, I like so that every album has their own unique sound. And the next album, we're already working with the new material for the next album, and it's going to be again a little bit different than One Man Army.
How much different does it sound compared to right now?
Well, this is a matter of opinion. Somebody might just say it's the same shit, but for us, even the small details. Well, of course, it's not gonna be. We're not gonna do like R&B, but small things. Let's see. Maybe. I don't know how much can I reveal, but maybe a little bit more folkish this time. Let's see.
So being a band for 20 years, how much of the first idea of the band is still around, would you say? Like how the progression of the band, what's the most notable thing?
Personally, I think it's still there. The very core, like I said, the melodic folk music, Scandinavian folk music, very much, and metal. That's very much there. And Markus, who's the main composer, he still listens to a lot of folk music. I do also. A lot of like Henningarna, Garmarna from Sweden. Really good stuff. And I think the idea what Marcus had to have like a really heroic fantasy-based thing, I think that's still there. And even though many people try to categorize us as a Viking metal band, even though we only have maybe 1 or 2 songs that actually have something to do with Viking sagas. That's just one source of inspiration, one ideal heroic dudes, We have Western stuff also. So for Ensiferum, it's heroic atmosphere. That's been also the very idea that Marcus had in the beginning, and it's very much present even nowadays. And personally, I like it when I write the lyrics, because the ideas come from the real life. And of course, I read a lot. That also gives some inspiration. But it might be really like almost everyday things that there comes just one line or just an idea, and start working on it, and so that it fits this Ensiferum's theme. I really like the challenge to try to find metaphors and whatever.
And you have been on Metal Blade for how long now?
This is the first album.
Yeah. How many years is it? I don't know.
Metal Blade?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this is the first album we've done with Metal Blade, so I don't know where it counts.
Okay. Because you left Spinefarm after 13 years.
Yes.
As far as the music industry goes for Ensiferum as a band, what's the most notable changes that has affected the band in any way?
That is a good question. First of all, there was no big drama when we left Spinefarm. The guy from Spinefarm was in our show in Copenhagen, and we're still in a really good relationship with the guys and girls. And but anyway, the changes in the music business, of course, they changed a lot. I've been in a band a little over 10 years, and even I've seen it. All streaming become much more popular. Vinyl in the last decade, it's become much more popular. I think one thing that has changed is the bands and labels have to put much more effort so that the actual physical CD or the package is much more appealing to fans. I think nowadays they are focusing much more to make like bundles and have really quality bonus material. Like Amon Amarth did, they did the 4 shows of the first 4 albums. They're like 4 DVDs or something like that, 4 shows, I don't know, was it 2 DVDs or whatever, but anyway, that's like bonus material. Like, I don't know, 15 years ago, Amon Amarth releasing 4 shows, that would have been amazing DVD package, but now it's just bonus material for an album. I think that's a really good example. Personally, I think it's really good, because then bands and labels are really putting much more effort in it. But on the other hand, like now we're in studio, and we are really slow composers anyway. When we go to the studio, there's no leftover material ever.
No.
I mean, there are no songs that we leave out.
Okay.
Like, no, that is crap. We have, raw ideas that are left for the next session, but if you know what I mean, some bands go to the studio and they have 20 songs and pick maybe 10. We don't work that way. We make an album and that's it. Anyway, we're in studio and we get all this pressure. We need, bonus material, bonus songs for iTunes and Amazon and Japan and Digipack, and we're like, we're making an album. Isn't that enough anymore? And anyway, that's why because we want to have certain standard, certain quality, whatever is released under the name of Ensiferum. So just making like a cover song just because you need a cover song is just waste of studio time, and I think it's also it's not fair for fans either. If somebody pays, that's why we made few cover songs. And we were like, okay, what the fuck are we gonna do? We need at least one more. And everybody was really pissed off because we were in a studio, we want to record the album and not use like expensive time to come up, rehearsing some cover song. So people went for a smoke, they chill out for a while, and in 15 minutes we made a bonus song. And it ended up, and it's called bonus song. Everything was pretty much done in 15 minutes. It's actually pretty hilarious.
Okay, cool. And all that, what has the biggest change for the audiences been over the years? What have you noticed for the live shows and overall fan engagement?
That's a really good question. Of course, because the band is more successful now, the crowds are much bigger. But one thing that's always been present in our, in our crowd is that people are there, have a good time. That's what I really love. No matter on what continent we are, people are there to. Even though there are really wild mosh pits and wall of death and crowd surfing, but people are there to sing along, and you can see happy faces. And even though aggressive song, they sing along, and you can see everybody's really aggressive there, but still, in the mosh pit, they help each other. Nobody ever gets hurt, and we're all having really good time. And that's something that I really appreciate in our fans, because that's what we are also having. When they're having a good time, we're having a good time, and it's like the interaction. I really love it. That's why I love. Like today, it's gonna be pretty much sold out. I heard there were like 5 tickets left in the morning, so I guess it might be sold out. So I really love when people are near, small venues.
I saw you guys in the last time you were here.
Okay.
I think at the Brew House.
Yeah,
show.
Brew House. Yes.
And that was actually the first time I heard you and saw you guys. So based off that show, that's why I'm here today. So.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And. So what do you have planned for the rest of the year, except more touring and Inferno Festival tomorrow?
Yes.
Is there anything special you're looking forward to?
Yeah, the new album came out, so it's going to be a lot of touring for the next at least 2 years. The tour is going to end tomorrow, then we go home, wash laundry, and we go to Russia, 2 shows. In May we're going to play in North America with Korpiklaani and Trollfest. Norway. Really nice guys in both bands. And then it's summer festival time season, and in autumn some more touring coming up. And it was so cool. We met Metal Blade guys on this tour already like twice, and it's so amazing how enthusiastic they are for our band. And it feels good when the label is really interested about you, and they're like, okay, they're full of ideas, and they even asked how about the next DVD, because we were planning new DVD already like 2009 or something, and we shot some material for it, but eventually Spine Farm said nobody buys DVDs anymore, so there's no point with 40,000 euros to make a DVD, and you don't get the money back. But no, Metal Blade was like, yeah, of course we're gonna make a new DVD. So that's one of the big plans we have. I don't know, can we shoot it even next year, because that kind of thing really takes a lot of time to prepare, and also again, the package has to be really good. We're thinking about but the idea is to really make long documentary, because now band is turning 20 years old. We have hundreds of hours of material. Markus has the very first show of Ensiferum from year 95 or 96.
Oh, nice.
And, because we are still really good friends with all the ex-members, interview them also, their memories from how the band was started, and that, and some other stuff also included. So it's going to be a really, really nice package when we get it out, but it might be even 2080 when we really have the chance to fucking release it. But anyway, a lot of touring. Like I said, we're also, when we get back home, maybe in summer, we start working with new songs already. So I don't know, life is good. We are really privileged to be in this situation that we can do this.
Cool. Like this. Anything you'd like to add to the listeners later on?
If you haven't heard the new album, check it out. And I can't say anymore, see you on the road, because I don't know when we're coming back to Sweden. But on the other hand, we're playing some major festivals, so maybe we see you there. And if not, enjoy the summer. Because, summer in Scandinavia is short, so let's make best out of it.